But we had a pretty strong storm move through parts of York, Lancaster, Union counties, and we had these amazing shelf clouds. So I'll show you my Facebook page because we had some pretty good pictures, and thank you to everybody out there who sent me these images. Look at these pictures. This is really cool. Now, you're probably thinking this is Independence Day style stuff, and it kind of does look like that, but what you're looking at here is what we call a stacked shelf cloud. When you have really strong outflow from these storms, they tend to produce a rush of cold air that hits the warm air, and when it rides up and over it, it tends to produce these really big shelf clouds. So again, we're going to take a moment here for everybody who is watching us on YouTube. If you like what you're hearing and seeing here, make sure you go grab the WCNC Plus app. That's what we want you to do. Go over and grab that, and you can watch us on your smart TV. And it's just not our weather impact show. You can watch all our WCNC Plus and our Impact studio here. News throughout the day. When there's breaking news and there's not news on TV, it's going to be on WCNC Plus. So go over there right now, Roku, Fire TV, and your Apple TV. But you can also watch on our app and our website as well. But we'd love for you to download that app. I know our bosses would love you to do that. So that shelf cloud last night, yeah, pretty cool to see this. This is another picture that we have, and again, this was sent in from Jennifer. Some of the images were just amazing. I mean, I'm going to go through these and see if I can show you a couple more, because I posted one picture, and the great thing about this is everybody came through and started posting more pictures. Look at this one. I mean, you see the stacked nature of this. This came in from JAMA there. That was a great image. I had a really good video of one. Let's see if my computer will play it full screen here. But yeah, there was some pretty cool video of these storms moving through, and we call this a stacked shelf cloud. And let's take weather one there. I'm going to show you what these are, so we can kind of explain what a shelf cloud and how they form. So that's what they look like, right? That's kind of what it looks like. So what's happening in that picture? At least I see this, and I know Lily sees this as well, because when we visualize what's happening, the cloud is actually telling you a lot about what's happening in the atmosphere. So as I show you this, there's cold, dry air coming out of that storm. It's pushing out. And think about last night or in the middle of the summer when we get these big storms. There's hot, humid air ahead of that cold air, and it gets pushed up and over that cold air, dry air at the surface, and it produces this cloud. Now, it's called a shelf cloud, sometimes a roll cloud. Another name is an Arcus cloud, but they're all the same thing. And what it is that you'll actually get a cloud to form there, and it looks kind of like a shelf. If that makes sense to you, you know. And also think of like how the continental shelf is under the water. It's a ramp. It's basically ground coming up closer and closer till you get to the beach. And you know, as a meteorologist, we think these are really cool. They can be dangerous if there's strong winds, but not all of them are dangerous. Last night was a good example of we had pretty strong winds, but they weren't severe. We didn't get any widespread damage reports. They tend to happen when it's really hot and humid, like it was yesterday, or really in the coming days, and you're getting cold, dry air from up in the atmosphere to come down to the surface, and then it interacts with that warm, humid air and creates that shelf cloud. And there's actually a term for people that take pictures in front of these. What do you think that is, Jeb? What?
Shelf clouds?
Yeah, what would be a picture somebody would take in front of a shelf cloud? Lily knows. What is it? Yeah.
I don't think I do. No,
Oh, okay.
Actually.
0 for 2.
Oh,
I know.
All right. So you'll love this. So most meteorologists and storm chasers will take a selfie in front of a shelf cloud, and they'll call it a shelfie. So, yeah. So, and now that I said that, we'll get a ton of those pictures. But that's determined, and that's like a goal for a storm chaser, is to get a great shelfie, to get a great picture in front of one of those. Because so if you ever see one and you want to do it, send me a shelfie, go ahead, because we love it. It kind of shows the excitement of it. We actually have another graphic that'll show you kind of how this works if you don't like the real image. So here's another shelf cloud. You can see it. Sometimes they'll be as big as the whole horizon. You know where these look really cool is at the beach, because you have unlimited visibility and there's no trees in your way. But that's another shelf cloud, and you can see this is kind of a 3D look at it. So if we have storms like we saw today and they push that cold, dry air out, and it hits that warm, humid air, that will produce the shelf cloud. Now, that cold, dry air, you probably have felt it. That's that rush of cool air. When it's super hot and sticky in the summer and you get a passing storm and you don't get the rain where you are, but you get that rush of cool air, we call that the gust front. That's like air conditioning in the summer. It is so nice to get that rush of cool air. It can make things more tolerable briefly, but when you get that rush of cool air and it interacts with that hot, humid air, that is when you're going to see a shelf cloud. And again, if you want to take a picture in front of it, we'd love to see a shelfie. I always thought those were really cool to see.